What's up traders? Today I'm going to break down exactly how to pass prop firm challenges step by step. Now I know how difficult passing these prop firm challenges can be. You've got the strict rules, you've got the profit targets, and of course you have the constant risk of blowing the account. But here's the thing, it doesn't actually need to be that complicated. In this video, I'm sharing the tips that help me and hundreds of other traders pass prop firm challenges without the unnecessary stress. And by the end of this video, you're gonna have a complete game plan, how to manage your risk, how to even find the correct prop firms to use, and everything about emotion when you're in these prop firm challenges, I'm gonna cover and teach you in this video. So let's dive in and make sure that you are fully prepared to pass your next challenge. Let's go. Now, I know better than most people how difficult passing these prop firm challenges can be. I probably failed maybe 10 challenges before I passed my first ever challenge, and it's because you've got the constant frustration in the challenge. There's emotion that you need to control, there's risk, there's everything that you need to do to actually get to a level that you can actually pass this challenge. So trust me guys, I know how difficult hitting those profit targets can be and actually not getting that drawdown limit, because I've been there, right? I've literally been in your shoes for the last year or two while I've been learning how to trade, and now I'm in a situation where I am funded with almost $1 million. And it's because I was able to actually master my motion and actually do everything in this video, which I'm going to tell you right now. So here's how we're going to do this. First, I'm going to give you a very solid structured plan to actually use on these prop firm challenges. Then we're going to go over risk management. Then we're going to go over emotional control. And there's also going to be a few bonus tips, which I'm going to throw in throughout the video as well. And all of these tips are going to seriously change the way that you look at trading these prop firm accounts. So guys, part one of the strategy to passing prop firm accounts is picking the right prop firm to use. I'm going to tell you for a fact that there are multiple prop firms out there that are going to steal your money, aren't going to pay you out on time, and they just aren't good firms. So part one of actually becoming a profitable trader is picking the firms that are best for you. And trust me, there are a few firms which I've used in the past who have been very bad, but also there's been firms who are very good and have allowed me to get funding very quickly because they have good rules. So a very important thing to do is pick the right prop firm, and the right prop firm to use is right up here on the screen, also here and also here. And I'm going to go into a bit more detail on why these three prop firms are probably the best prop firms in the space right now. Now, the first prop firm which I recommend using, and the one that I actually got funded with first, is going to be one-of-one funding. One-of-one funding has an 8% profit target on a one-phase account with a very good drawdown rule. So guess what that means, right? You can actually get funded very quickly with one-of-one funding because all you need to do is get 8%. 8% is not hard to do. If you actually follow the strategy which I teach on this YouTube channel, and the strategy which I might actually go into a bit more detail to on this video, 8% is not hard to do. And that's how I've been able to scale funded accounts very quickly using one-of-one funding, one-step accounts. Now, the other two prop firms that I recommend will be ACG and FTMO. Both of these prop firms are extremely reliable, and I would probably say that these are the best prop firms in the industry at the moment. FTMO has been around the longest, and ACG is smashing it at the moment, and they are doing very well. They always pay me out on time, and I've never had an issue with ACG, so that's why I recommend ACG as well. Now, when it comes to passing both of these accounts, they are going to both be two-step accounts, meaning you're going to have to pass a phase 1 and the phase 2 to become profitable and actually get that funded account, which is going to take you a little bit longer than one-of-one, one-phase account. However, ACG and FTMO, in my opinion, are more reliable, and they do pay me out on time more than one-of-one. So that's why I would decide to maybe go with ACG or FTMO if you want a safer option. And by the way, if you want to get signed up with ACG, press the link below and you can use my discount code to get a little discount on your funded account challenge. Now, the next step, once you've actually picked your prop firm, is to make sure that you actually set realistic goals and targets when you are in this challenge account. Do not, and I repeat, do not try and pass this account on the first day, because you're probably going to blow it. Unless you're a very experienced trader, you do not want to risk more than 2%, even 1% on the trade, because you run the risk of blowing the account. So step number 2 of the strategy to pass prop firm accounts is to make sure that you have a very good risk management system. What I recommend doing, and the strategy which I've used to get over $500,000 in funding, is risking 1% per trade and being super patient and waiting for your A-class setups to risk the 1% on those setups. Do not, and I repeat, do not take any setups that aren't A-class setups. Now, an A-class setup for me and for my strategy, which I teach in my community, consists of higher time frame bias, a very, very good entry on the lower time frame, and also following the entry model which I teach, which I call the Asian session liquidity model. Now, the reason why I say to risk 1% and not anything more or anything less is because if you're risking 0.5%, you now need to make a total of 16% to get that 8% profit target, which is the profit target for every single phase 1 account. Or if you risk more, 2%, you run the risk of losing that first trade. And if you lose that first trade, you're now down 2%. Your psychology is going to be messed up because you're now down 2%, which is quite a considerable amount to be down. And you're probably going to start messing up your trades. So 1% for me and for my community is the sweet spot. And that's how I've been able to pass funded accounts as well as my community, because we stick to 1% per trade. Now, of course, could be losers. And if they are losers, this is what you need to do to get out of drawdown. Now, there's been times where I've literally been on the verge of losing an account. Maybe I'm 1% away from blowing that account, but I'm able to bring it back because what I do is very, very smart, and I lower my risk so that I can eventually increase my buffer to eventually get to break even, to eventually go back to risking 1%. So let me tell you exactly how I would do this. Now, the first thing you want to do once you are over 3% in drawdown on your challenge account is you want to decrease your risk to 0.5%. The reason why you want to do this is because you need to slowly get back to break even without risking too much of your account. Once you're in 3% drawdown, that for me is when red flags and red alarms start going off in my head, right? Once you're in 3% drawdown, that's quite a considerable amount of drawdown. And if you continue to risk 1%, if you lose again and again, you're 5% in drawdown. And I'm not gonna lie, by the time you're 5% in drawdown, that account is probably blown. But what you want to do is go to risking a little bit less, taking it slow, making sure that you still take A-class setups to get that buffer back, to get back to break even, risking 0.5%, so that once you're at break even, then you go back to risking 1%. A big mistake that traders make is once they're in drawdown, they continue to risk the same amount. But the thing is with that, if you lose again and again, you are just going to keep on getting in drawdown. Now, a super important thing to mention when you actually decrease your risk is you have to make sure that you continue to take A-class setups. Just because you're decreasing your risk, it does not mean that you can take worse trades. You have to continue to take the exact same trades, following the strategy, following your higher time frame analysis that you do every single time if you're risking 1%. Because if you start decreasing your risk, but you decrease the trades that you take in terms of quality, your trades are now going to lose more than they win. And as a result, even though you're risking less, you're still going to be losing more than you should because you're now risking less and you're taking worse trades. What you need to do is you need to make sure, like I said, that when you risk 0.5%, you are only taking A-class setups, and do not take setups that are worse than A-class setups. Just because you're risking less, it does not mean you can take bad trades. Now, this video is not about my strategy. However, it's very important that you actually do have a good strategy to follow, because guys, trust me, a lot of people, maybe even you watching this video, go into prop firm challenges without actually understanding a strategy to trade. If this is you, you need to first of all master a strategy before you even think about going for a prop firm challenge. Like, bro, how can you actually think that if you don't have a strategy, you're ever gonna pass these prop firm challenges? It's not possible. And even if it is possible, even if you get lucky, you're gonna blow that account because you don't know how to consistently make money on the funded account once you get it. So, a few things that I like to look for in a good strategy are as follows. Now, when it comes to developing a good strategy, you want to make sure that first of all, you have a good win rate. You do not want to be losing more than you're winning, because that's going to mess up your psychology. The second thing they want to make sure you have is a good risk to reward on every single trade. I only take trades with a 1 to 3 or higher risk to reward. And this means that if I risk 1%, I'll be making 3%, 4%. Sometimes I've even hit trades where I make 8% on a single trade using my strategy. And this is what you want to do. You do not want to be taking trades on a prop firm account with a low win rate and a low risk to reward, because it just doesn't make any sense. When you're going for these prop firm accounts, you need to make sure that your wins are much bigger than your losses. And the only way that's going to happen is if you have a good risk to reward every single time you take a trade. Now, unfortunately, I don't have time to go through my exact strategy on this video. However, if you want to learn my strategy and trade live with me every single day, press the first link below and you can actually join my community and trade live with me every single day. Now, in this section of the video, I want to cover a few mistakes that traders make over and over again when trying to pass these prop firm accounts. And trust me, I've mentored hundreds of people and I know which mistakes people make over and over again because I hear it every single day. So here are mistakes that people make over and over again which you need to stop doing or else you're never going to become profitable. Now, the first mistake that I hear over and over again is people rushing to try and pass their first account. Yes, you want to flex on your friends that you're a funded trader. Yes, you want to post on Instagram and TikTok that you've made it and you're retired and you've survived, you've escaped the rat race, whatever. But guys, rushing the process is going to just destroy you as a trader. There is no rush. There's no time limit on funded accounts. You can take as long as you want. And this is the benefit of going for funded accounts. There's no time limit. So stop rushing it. Understand that if you rush it, it's going to just make you a worse trader because you're going to be forcing trades which aren't good. And secondly, there is just no rush. There's literally no reason to rush. You've got all the time in the world. You can take your time. And if you take your time and focus on taking the best possible trades, that's going to make you pass the account quicker in the long run because the trades you take are better than you rushing to take a trade to show off to your friends and your family. Now, the second mistake that I see people make, including myself when I was learning how to trade, is when you're on these challenge accounts, you decide for some reason not to stick to your strategy. And that's something that I did. For some reason, when you're on these challenge accounts, you let emotion get the better of you and you might see a trade which isn't even part of your strategy, but you take it just for the sake of taking it because you want to make a quick little % or two on your account just to think you can pass it quicker. But the thing is, as soon as you stop taking the trades for your strategy and as soon as you stop actually following your plan, you're never going to pass that account because you're now messing up your win rate, your risk to reward, and everything is now out of the window. And if you're somebody who struggles to stick to their strategy, I recommend you need to backtest a little bit more. Get confident on your strategy and understand that your win rate is actually good. Understand you are a good trader from your backtesting, from your forward testing. And when you're confident enough, then go back onto the account and make sure that you are taking trades only for your strategy. Now, the next and super important step in actually becoming a profitable trader is to make sure that you control your emotions. If you don't control your emotions when you're in these challenge accounts, you're never, ever going to become profitable. Even if you have a good strategy, even if you've got a good win rate, even if you understand how to manage your risk, if your emotions when you're in a trade are all over the place, you're never going to make it. So what I recommend doing and what actually helped me improve my psychology is actually just understanding that I am profitable. And to do this, all you need to do is take some more time off the challenge account. I know this video is about passing prop firm accounts, but if you're not confident in yourself and your ability, what makes you think that when you go onto the challenge, your psychology is now all of a sudden going to get better and you're going to be able to pass this account? It's not possible. So if your psychology is an issue on these challenge accounts, instead of trying to rush it and just randomly expect to pass one, you need to go back to the basics. You need to go back to a demo account and start to practice on that demo account again. Build up your confidence on your strategy. And once you've done that, then your psychology when you're on the funded account or challenge account will be much better. Another thing that I recommend to do to improve your psychology is to actually have on your wall in front of you or on your desk in front of you, wherever you want, is you need to have your set of rules that tell you exactly what you need to look for before you take a trade. This will subconsciously make you a better trader and improve your psychology because as soon as you take a trade, instead of just randomly pressing the button on your phone, you'll now got the rules in front of you and you can have a quick little look. Is this the rules to follow? Is this correct? Should I be taking the trade? And if it's not, you shouldn't take the trade. And having that piece of paper in front of you is what helped me to become a profitable trader because it helped me see my rules every single time before I take a trade. So guys, there you have it. With a solid plan, understanding how to manage your risk, understanding how to develop your psychology, and understanding how to not blow your accounts, I'm very confident that a lot of you guys will now be able to pass these challenge accounts. If you found these tips useful, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on the video. And by the way, if you want to join my private community where I trade live and pass funded accounts every single day, all you need to do is press the first link below and you can join my private community before the price goes up at 100 members. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.